Hi, Libior. Ewan, please, you need to get a mic. Hi, Nitro. Hi, Robster.
Hi guys.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Hey, Robster. Long time no here. Glad to see you back here.
Glad to be here. Looking forward to the new features.
We have some major announcements today.
Ooh.
Yes. I can imagine, Libor. I need to get my webcam actually running, so I can also show my screen and my face.
At least as a screenshot of you. So,
Yes. There is one, a very serious one, right, on our homepage.
yeah. Just saw the one flip of AP. Wow.
Yes, like 3 ETH profit. That I haven't seen a flip like that.
Like, yeah. We are all wishing for this kind of flip, right?
Right.
Mm.
We were all...
Hey guys, how you going?
Hi, Dolphy. Welcome.
Busy week?
Hey Dolphy.
Hey guys.
Yeah, not too bad. I had holidays this week, and it's only 4 more weeks I have to work for Swisscom, so I'm looking forward to do this full time by June a lot.
Oh, really? So you're going to be doing this full time?
Yes.
That's good. Cool.
Yes. I feel so passionate about the project, and it's really what I like to do, And being your own boss and having your own startup is so different to work than if you work for a, IT company.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I've been working in IT for 30 years, cybersecurity, but I work from home now. So I still work for a company, but I only do really like 2 or 3 hours of work a day. The rest of the time is staring at the screen.
Yeah, same here. I've been working at home now for 2 years. So.
Well, I've been doing it for 6. I mean, I lived in the UK for 10 years, did a lot of my career in Australia as well. And it was all that entire time was always as a consultant. And then 6 years ago, I got a job in the US for a company, but it still meant working from home. But it's the first time I've worked from home in my 25 years, whatever. So for the last 6 years, I've just been on my 3rd company now, but it's just been working from home. So it's been great.
Yeah. Have you ever met the people you work with in person?
I have in this current company. I've been with this new company for the last 4 months, but before then I worked for a company for 2.5 years and I never met anybody face to face. I met them a couple of times on video, but never met them face to face for the whole 2.5 years.
It's the same for me. I'm working in a position at my current company since like 4 months. And I haven't met the people yet. And it's so strange, it's not the same team culture and team spirit if you never meet the people. I think it's really different.
Yeah, there is definitely a difference to it. I mean, but this latest company, I've flown out twice to Boston, so I've met everybody, which is nice. But the last one was based out of California. I never met anybody. I think I met one person who was working in Denver, where I live now. I only met her twice for coffee. The rest of the time it's been just on video, and most of the time I still haven't met anybody on video face to face in the old company. It was weird.
Yeah.
Do you look like on your profile picture when you?
Oh no, that profile picture is I won a Butler spot in Collider. I had to do a concert video, so I got my daughter to shave my head and shave my beard off and put some makeup on and I won first prize in the concert video, so I got a whitelist spot.
Yeah, nice. Looks nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Awesome.
But I'm sick of grinding for these whitelists. I'd rather be sitting here grinding on bids every day.
So I'm started to share my screen. Can you guys see it?
Yep. Can see
Okay,
it.
perfect. Okay. So, do we have any newcomers today? I don't think so, right? Check. Yes, Bona, we are covering this question in just in a few minutes. So let's start. So let's make the session a more community-oriented session for everyone here. So more internals. What are we currently working on? What features will come next? And yeah, what is the timeline and the roadmap of NFT Butler? So what you see here is basically the next version, and the next version or the next release is going to be focusing on stability mainly. There is some small features like we have built in a bulk deletion feature, so you can now select all the tasks, not running tasks, but when you pause them, you can select them as well, and you can. Let's delete some old tasks. I don't need these two. So you can now delete multiple tasks at once. This is also related to another stability feature about the Redis database, which is running in the background, storing all the logs and all your, basically all the logs and all your jobs. And we have seen some reports where NFT Butler was crashing when tasks were coming to an end. And it was related to when the Redis database is growing very big and doing snapshots every 5 minutes. Sometimes those snapshots broke. So we have tweaked the code to make sure NFT Butler code is not breaking. When the snapshot breaks, it will just try to do another snapshot in 5 minutes. And we are also going to limit the task list to 50 tasks, not in this feature, but in the feature afterwards. Just to make sure if you have 50 tasks with all 10,000 bits run, the snapshot size and the Redis memory size is going to be like, more than 2 gigabyte, which, can cause such crashes. And we want to avoid that. So that's why we are going to limit the task list to 50 tasks. But with the bulk delete feature, it should be, easier to manage your tasks. And it will force you to basically housekeep and clean up the task list from time to time. Other than that, we will also put in next release is really going to focus about stability. So it's all about the Redis database, the housekeeping of the task. We also the issue we saw today where some wallets had to reapprove wrapped Ethereum. We are going to treat this as prior one task and try to implement the fix to make sure the OpenSea SDK is not reinitiating wrapped Ethereum approvals again. It's not done by the NFT Butler code, but there is some code in the OpenSea SDK when you run bits. Sometimes it feels like it has to reapprove it. That's when you get those little gas fees for those approvals. So we will try to fix that as well. Also, UI improvements. We have heard from one user if this graph here is exceeding 100% because maybe a bid was accepted and you have actually allocated more than 100% of your funds, it's going to overlay the active bids here. So we will do that. There was one issue where the wallet stats was not loading at all because the local time zone wasn't able to be, recognized by the code. So we will fix that. So a lot of fixes for the client. And then the big release is going to come next, maybe in, we focus to make sure we can ship the next big release until end of May for sure. And we will call it Supercharged Butler because we are going to release NFT Butler with 4 tasks straight from the backend. So you can still bring your own OpenSea API keys. And if you have to, you will still get 4 tasks locally running with your own API keys. But we got a lot of API keys recently. So we now want to bring more value to the product and just release it straight from the backend with 4 tasks for everyone. And for Padawans, the plan is to give them a pathway to 4 tasks. So Padawans, the trial access will most probably run with 1 task. At least that's the plan for now. And if they name all their wallets on OpenSea, something like NFT Butler - something, then they will unlock a second task, and there will be a weekly quest, something like follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, retweet our AMA. And if you complete this weekly quest, Padawans will also speed up to 4 tasks, basically. So we are trying to incentivize Padawans to support the project and help us grow, and they will get 4 tasks from the backend in return, basically.
Will they have the chance to use API keys at all, or can they only get to 4 tasks if they do the promotion for NFT Butler?
We haven't discussed this yet in detail, but the current idea is they can still use their own OpenSea API key if they want. It's we are trying to keep the logic as low as possible. So, enabling and disabling features like local API keys based on role IDs would require additional complexity on the client side. So, nothing set in stone yet, but most probably they can still use their own OpenSea API keys.
Keep it simple,
yeah. And we are also working on the looping tasks. So the idea is basically to really come with a supercharged Butler by end of May, giving everyone straight 4 tasks from the backend, and also bringing a new feature to life, which are those looping tasks. And the idea about looping tasks is really you run a task on a collection, and all the errors which are currently blocking a task will be handled. So it basically runs forever. So in the best case, you have enough funds to cover the whole task of a collection. You run it. An NFT Butler will run through all the bits. Also suggest you a validity to basically make the first bit expire once the last bit is processed. And once the task has finished, it will start over again. So it will basically make sure you always have active bits on your collection. If you don't have enough funds to cover the whole collection, it will basically process the collection in pieces or in bytes. So let's say you have funds to, I don't know, maybe 2 bits for 3,000 tokens here. Then we would do 3 pieces. The suggestion would be to run those bits with a validity of 3 hours, because then the first bit is going to expire once the 3,000 bits are processed, and you can, immediately continue to bid on the collection to process the entire collection. Bits will only be valid for 3 hours, but you will always cover a third of the collection in this example. We are also thinking you can also overwrite the validity. So maybe you want to have 10 hours. So you can only cover 3,000 tokens on this task for 10 hours. And what the task will do, once it hits the funds limit, it will basically check based on your wallet stats, when can I start bidding again? It will set the task to pause, add a notification here. Task is currently paused because funds are allocated, but it will resume in 7 hours to do the second batch of the bid. the bits. So then it will basically pause for 7 hours. Scheduler will kick in and automatically play the task again once the bits are going to expire, the first third, and it will continue to bid for token number 3,000 to 6,000, and then 6,000 to 9,000, and so on.
So that basically means you can have one collection. Sorry, you can have one task for one collection. It'll just go around, stop and start, and just keep populating that collection. Yeah, because at the moment I've got each collection I've broken down into like 4 tasks, and I've worked out percentages of my total wallet and trying to juggle which ones I can run and when I can run it, that sort of stuff. So that'd be great.
Exactly. You can also split still, so it will still be a task. So you can also say, okay, I only want to cover token ID 1 to 5,000 with this endless task. And for endless task, you would usually also use the relative bidding to the current floor, so you don't have to, take care about how the floor is moving. The looping task will basically just always bid relative to the floor price and always update your bits.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We have also put, I don't know what we can cover by end of May, but we have also put in the same user story that you will actually have a third option, or maybe we replace this option here. So relative bits to the floor are going to be changed to expected profit span. So instead of saying I want to bid 30% below the floor price, but at least 25% below the floor price without bidding, you're gonna type in I want to do 0.1 ETH profit margin, and I'm outbidding to a profit margin of at least 0.07. Because right now we have to do a lot of reverse calculation. Basically everyone is aiming for a profit span right now, and everyone has to calculate how much percentage. So we have one here, right? So I am always aiming for this sort of profit span, maybe a little bit bigger, but I always have to adjust my percentages here to ensure this profit span, right? So we want to change that. So basically, you put in what you want to earn with the flip relative to the current floor, also subtracting the current royalties on this collection, and the NFT Butler will calculate it for you, basically. Does that make sense? Would you like this feature? Would you also like to keep the percentages below the floor price? Or do you think we should replace percentage by just profit span?
That's a good question. I'm used to just following that 40 to 50% below floor. I mean, it'd be handy if there was if you put those figures in there, then it auto populates and shows you what the percentage is or something.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that's all.
Yeah, maybe we put a third option here.
Yeah, can you just keep it? Would be. I think there's all different guys. I mean, I would prefer the profit span, but I think there is also guys that just want to put their ETH, and the other guys that want to put their percentage.
Yeah, right.
It would be best.
Yeah, because
3 options.
Yeah, because I think it varies so much too. Every collection is different. A 40% below floor price for one collection might be completely different in terms of profit span for something else. That they vary quite a bit depending on the size of the collection and how much you're bidding for.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, definitely, I think that's great having a profit span option there as well.
Also, the chat agrees. Everyone thinks more options is always better than fewer. So also when we had a look at the competition on the market, we feel our USP right now is the UI and the experience for the user, and not making it too complicated, because there are other competitors out there who have a lot of stats and graphs. But I think for someone new in the space, it's very hard to what is now important and how do I get started? So we always want to keep the UI as simple as possible. That's why we also thought not offering too many options, and basically the options which work the best or are the most user-friendly. That's the idea, right? So that's why we don't want to overload the UI, but if there is a valid use case to keep all three options, we can do that, certainly.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Because you can get lost in the information, whereas this really is a numbers game. Like it's really, you're pumping thousands of bids in the hope of getting one successful bid. So I think you can sort of waste your time looking at too much details.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Which is what I've realised over the last couple of days. You can spend all your time analysing it, but it really is just jumping in there and just dumping these bids out there at a certain, decent sort of level. Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes it's really, sometimes I see myself analyzing collections for an hour, still didn't make a decision, and then in the end I just pick one which I liked the most from the beginning, and maybe I get lucky the next day or I'm not. In the end, it's still a little bit of luck and timing involved, right? So just pick one.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Also something I wanted to check with you guys. So when we invent the looping tasks, which will basically, make sure you always have active bits, it will make a suggestion for the validity. So basically the perfect validity for the looping task is the first bit is going to expire when your funds limit is either hit or when you covered the whole task or collection, basically what you type in here. And because then we will perfectly renew, right? So once it's finished, it will start from scratch. That bit should expire in about 5 minutes while you're already placing the next bit. Do you think NFT Butler should calculate the validity for you, or should it still let you give the choice to overwrite the validity? So should we try to just make the best automation, or should we give users the option to do something else? It's maybe not the best option from a mathematical point, but there is a reason to do 10-hour bits instead of 3-hour bits. I don't know.
Are you calculating the validity from? Are you kicking off the next round once the last bid has expired, or before?
As soon as so we are calculating. So 10,000 bits are going to run 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have enough funds for all 10,000 bits here, it would be just validity of 10 hours, the calculation. Because when the task ends, the first bit is going to expire on token ID 1, which will then be renewed after 10 hours when it starts from scratch again.
Okay.
But I guess it's important to give the option to overwrite the validity, right? Maybe you want to do only 5 hours, then maybe half of the collection is not have active bits. Maybe you want to have 18, and the task is going to process the 10,000 bits and then wait for 8 hours before starting again. That's basically the options you have there. I'm also reading the chat. Yeah, I agree. It's very simple and I like it, but that was about the drop down. Important to keep in mind the issue with delaying tasks. So 3 hour on 3K collection is not enough. It needs to be 4 or 5 unless it's fixed. Currently, the scenario you're describing would only cover around 80 to 90% of the collection max. Why do you think that, Libior? And UMP thinks I would always do a custom strategy per collection, just a personal preference. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? There might also be reasons like, maybe API is down for a few hours and you want to keep the validity a little bit longer. Maybe we should add an option if the looping task should only start over once the first bit is going to expire. So to make it wait once it processed the whole collection and not putting 2 bits. I think that's important, right?
Yeah, it gets a bit complicated when you're, say, in the position I'm in. I'm running multiple tasks for multiple collections, so I might do half of one collection and kick off because I've got a bit of a space. I'll put in a third of another collection, for example. That's when it starts getting messy, and that's when you try and look at the graph and try and work out when you can kick off the next one. So you kick off the next one once you see that curve going down, so you know that you can squeeze some more in, but it's
the looping tasks will take care for all of this, and every looping task will also take one spot here. So you can have up to 4 looping tasks for 4 different collections or 4 different, trade features, whatever you want. And they will basically calculate the perfect, if you let it, the perfect allocation here. So the goal is the looping task is going to allocate your bits straight with the red line here. So whenever you hit your fund ratio limits here, it will basically wait maybe an hour until some funds are freed again, and then start processing the task again.
And then if you've got like 4 tasks going against 4 collections, it'll just keep drip feeding those various tasks.
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I decided to ditch my computer and join on phone, so I don't have to type in the chat.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, the thing I was talking about in the chat was we discussed it a few days ago, I think, in some other thread. But the issue is that due to the limitations of, I think you said 3 requests per, or some number of requests per 3 seconds. So, sometimes the tokens are delayed. They should go from 0 to 1,000, right? The tokens should go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes,
but because there are some
you're right.
Delayed. Yeah. Yeah. So in the end, if you had only 3 hours on 3,000 collection, it could happen that some tokens do not have any active bits, and other tokens have bits that like 2 active bits.
Yes, I see your point.
So that's what I meant.
So we either have to enforce the same order on every rotation, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. We should take care about that. That's absolutely true. I'm going to take a note about this. Make sure same order, or make sure tokens are processed in order always.
Are they not? I thought that's what they already did.
You mean if we do that in order right now?
Yeah, do we do that in order now?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
There is some edge cases. So to make sure we apply with the rate limits of OpenSea, there is a hard counter or time set for every bit to make sure a bit takes at least, or a job takes at least 3 seconds before the next bit is processed. Otherwise, if we are faster, sometimes that's the case if the OpenSea API is not very loaded right now. So if we process the next bit here in 2 seconds, then the next token ID is going to delayed. And from delayed going back into the queue, into the waiting queue. It's just completed right now. It's not running. So it's going to delayed, then back into the waiting queue. And actually what is processed here is going to be the over next token. So if 9 goes to delayed, 10 is going to be the next one processed, and 9 is going to be at the very end of the queue. So that's also what LIBOR is talking about here. Maybe 20% of the tokens are not processed in order, and if you loop through them again, maybe those 20% are then suddenly end up with having 2 bits instead of, because it wasn't processed in order. So that's something we should ensure in the looping tasks. Also reading the chat, does the percentage of floor price feature only adjust to a dropping floor or also to a rising floor? To both? Not a fan of that, to be honest. Often floor price rises for only a few hours because of a whale goes back to normal right now. Yeah, that's true, Bono. And then you're stuck with your high offers. Yeah, I know that's true. And I've made a lot of thoughts on that one. It's really hard to. No, we would need to have a mathematic professor or something to do some nice vectors and graphs to basically spot if floor prices are spiking too quickly to keep the bids low. At this point, that's why I'm still a fan of doing fixed price bidding to make sure if the floor, because this is you all know I flipped a lot of bombs and I feel very confident, in what price range they are moving because I look at them like every day, right? So I feel very comfortable putting fixed price bidding because I know kind of in which range the floor is moving. But yeah, I know it's not a perfect solution with the relative bidding. Still, I think if you go for volatile collections, I know there is never a guarantee a collection is going to be stable, but I always try to find collections which look like they are stable. I think that's the most important if you choose your target of a collection. You also said would love an option to set max limit in ETH. So even if you use percentage feature, you can decide not to bid higher than something, for example. Yeah, I've thought about that as well. I think on that one, why not just going with the fixed option right now? I mean, why does the min bid price need to be relative to floor if you anyway want to have a fixed max bid price?
Because the floor can also go down. So then it would be, if you had fixed bid, then you would be overbidding if the floor goes down. But if you use the relative, it's still a good bid.
Yeah, but if the floor goes down, it's actually better to have both relative, right? I mean, it's exactly the opposite case of if the floor rises. The floor goes down, you want to basically adjust the max bid price as well. Otherwise, you're going to end up with bidding above the floor price.
Exactly. For that reason, if the floor goes down, it still uses relative bidding. But if it goes up, it stops at the limit you set.
Okay.
It's like a safety feature.
Yeah,
if
I
it
see.
goes up too much, then...
Okay, I see. I take a note on that one. I like that. Okay, so max bid price relative and fixed. And it would take the relative floor as long as it's under the fixed. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, what do you guys think about those features so far? Any further questions?
No, looks good. Looks good to me because I got caught out 2 days ago and I put some bids in for a project and it dropped from 0.18 down to 0.12 within the space of an hour, I think.
Oh.
So I jumped on there and tried to unwrap my ETH, and straight away 2 people jumped on there and accepted my bids at 0.1. So I was stuck with these high price bids for a day. But luckily I got out of it without losing money. But that was a classic example where I'm looking forward to that feature where it keeps track of what's happening and then it unwraps your ETH automatically.
Yeah, I think safety feature is going to be, so now we bring more automation and more speed. And since we are having a supercharged Butler afterwards, I think safety feature needs to be next priority one to make sure, you're still safe if you're supercharged.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're using multiple OS keys, and I've got to thank Bonner for sending me a spare OS API keys that made a huge difference. Like you just halve the time. That's just with 2 keys. So it's all of a sudden you can get your collection done in half the time. So you've got longer, your bids are active for longer, I guess, if you're doing like an 8-hour validity period. And that's what worries me, is that if you've got a longer validity period and all of a sudden the floor price drops like it did, just be really nice to see a safety feature that unwraps stuff nice and quickly.
Exactly. I think there is going to be 2 important features to the safety feature. Maybe, one is if floor is dropping below your profit span, automatically unwrap your wrapped Ethereum. And the second one is maybe also if a certain amount of bits are accepted, unwrap your ETH. You only want to get maximum 3 or 4 tokens of a collection. Maybe, and that will be combined. So for that feature, we will also have to track if your bit's getting accepted. So basically to subscribe events on your wallet, which we will have to integrate anyway for the automated listing feature. So once you want to automatically list NFTs at floor price, once bits are accepted, we anyway have to subscribe to those events. If you get a new NFT in your wallet, we need to check if it was actually a bit accepted event from one of the bits processed with NFT Butler.
And what I was thinking, it's only nice to have, but when you do get a bid, is there any possibility of putting a feature in, and if that particular token that you've bought by pure luck you've got in the top 20% of rarities, for example, can we have a feature that sort of pops up saying the bid that got accepted is a top 20 or a top 30 or something rarity, just to give you a chance to put a higher
price.
Price on it?
Yes, of course. I mean, all those features are not going to be there from the beginning, so we will have to do, piece by piece. But yes, that's where we should go. So,
I mean, it's only nice to have. I mean, I'm assuming that most bids you get anyway are for the low rank type stuff anyway, because people just want to ditch those tokens. But just on the rare occasion that someone either by mistake or otherwise, sells a rare one for below floor price. Don't know why they would do that, but it's.
I've already gotten a lot of rare ones and sold them still around floor price because they are sold within minutes. So you just make very quick profit and can keep bidding. But yes, in the long run, we should definitely do something like that. And I mean, you wake up, you see your NFT listed, you can, and if that may be better to list it slightly a little bit higher, and you can still adjust it once you're awake and review your listings basically.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, make it automatics. Maybe put 10% on the floor price if you're a top 20 rarity something.
Yes,
because like I said, you can drop the price anyway if you wanted to.
Exactly. And also, there is one more feature in the backlog. Some of you might have already seen it. If you're running a lot of outbidding tasks right now, maybe I have one here. Sometimes it's failing to check the current highest offers, and it's down to this API endpoint being rate limited the most on OpenSea, because I guess most bots are using it to basically scan buy and sell orders. So we want to improve that to ensure once you get 4 tasks from the backend, or however, if you want to run 4 outbidding tasks, we want to ensure it always retrieves the highest offer. So we are going to change the architecture a little bit of the task runner here. So instead of every job ID checking what is the current highest bid and then outbidding, it will basically check the next 10 token IDs in your queue, store the highest bids for those next 10 jobs in memory, and So it only has to do one request per 10 or 5 tokens, depending a bit of if they are really processed in order or not. But basically just reduce the amount of requests required to OpenSea, which will also speed up a little bit the tasks and jobs. And we should not ending up in being rate limited when checking the offers, basically.
Are you still looking into the auto listing feature?
Yes. So the community rating right now says, because I think looping tasks and auto listing would be the perfect combination to have, an automated trading bot, right? But the community voting says looping tasks first and then safety features. And maybe it makes sense, right? I mean, in the end, all the three together are going to be very important because you want to do looping, so you don't have to come back to NFT Butler every day. It just does its job. You want to have automated listing as well to automatically sell them. So you don't have to come back for listing either. But on the other hand, you also need to have the safety feature to make sure, not ending up spending all your money on one collection and not being able to sell one of them. So depends a bit on how the rating looks like once we have the looping tasks and the supercharged NFT Butler by end of the month. But most probably safety feature is going to be higher priority before listing. Let's see. Yes, anything else?
Yeah, maybe I just have like a comment to the overall strategy or something. That like I understand the direction to go like to the most automated version possible.
Yes.
But just I would be careful because once it becomes really a lot automated and like all the basically skill or everything is taken out of it and it's just put this collection and do your thing to the bot, it just becomes like a race to the bottom because it will be only about who is willing to offer the smallest margin, the highest bid. So just I would be careful about like removing all the options of customization and such, because then it will be just 200 people, 500 people, 1,000 people just competing on one thing, the percentage under the floor. So just to keep that in mind.
But I mean, everyone is trying to aim for the best bot, right? So I think we need to try to have the best strategies to have and to basically bring the most successes to everyone in our community. The basic limitation of bits is still the amount of funds you're playing with, right? I mean, you cannot put endless bits and you're still restricted to, like 4,000 bits per IP address from OpenSea side. And that's also why we don't put the aim right now to do outbidding within seconds, trying to outbid everyone else. It's really automation to deploy as many bits as possible widely, right? And not coming back and always starting the task again. Just, I want to deploy my bits. I want to keep them valid to take those chances where someone is in need of liquidity and needs to sell quickly. That's really the aim right now. And I think the NFT space and the NFT market is going to vastly grow in the next couple of years. I know this is an assumption, but I always was a gamer, and I think NFTs are going to be part of the digital world and games and everywhere. So I think the market is going to increase, and there are going to be more and more targets to bid on. So it's not like if you have the supercharged NFT Butler, you're going to cover the whole market, right? So at least that's what I hope.
Yeah, I don't have like worries about like the increase of the epic keys or giving them away for free and such. I just mean like to not remove the options to differentiate ourselves. So keep the options to customize the duration of the bits, put the
Okay,
bots
yeah, makes sense.
and things like that, to just
Yeah, I see.
so everybody can choose their own strategy and such.
Yes, I see. Yeah, you're completely right. Don't narrow it down too much, so it needs to give you the options to do something else than others, right? And maybe also traits are going to be more important. So maybe after all that, we should work on rarity filters and trait filters, because I have also seen on some collection trait bidding is a very nice strategy. You can even go a little bit above the floor if you know this trait is going to sell for double or triple the floor. So we need to keep it open to do different things and strategies. You're completely right. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. In the very beginning, there was also a question about marketing, I think. Yes. So we just had another meeting with a marketing agency, and we are most probably gonna close a deal very soon with them. So they will help us to push NFT Butler in various alpha groups, where it's very hard to get an entrance. And also with, social media marketing and YouTube and stuff like that. And we basically want to have a little bang together with those 4 tasks straight from the backend. So I think it's very important, once you get either trials or new users, they need to have this wow effect within the first week. So we really want to get everyone 4 tasks to deploy more bits with NFT Butler, and having this nice dopamine flash when they get their first bid accepted and flip it for some profit. So that's basically the idea, together with a new landing page as well on our site. And we have also extended our team. So we have a copywriter joining our team now who will help us to define the brand and the story of NFT Butler, and an illustrator from New York who will do a lot of edgy and cute penguins for NFT Butler. Yeah, we are imagining something like minions, NFT Butler penguins who are grabbing NFTs for you in a nice way. That's what we are currently doing on the marketing side.
So are we getting little penguins then?
Yes, a lot of little penguins.
NFTs. Nice.
Cool. Bona likes it. I love it. Anything else from your side?
Maybe I have just like a general question, and I have no idea if you have any idea about that, but I was just wondering like what percentage maybe of the market Butler currently is, like if there are 200,000 bits per hour on OpenSea and Butler is like 20% of that or something like that, if you have any idea, or not at all.
Not at all.
I see. Okay.
I'm really sorry, not at all. Yeah.
Because basically, when I like check the listings and such, I see either listings from, I think, users of Butler, or like something like nftinit.com or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think basically there are just like two bots that are really like mass market, basically, that I don't know, hundreds of people have, and the others are custom, I think. So I was just interested if you know, but doesn't matter.
Yes. I don't know, to be honest. So there were also some requests to improve the collection scanner to basically show a graph, how are bits spread among a collection. And I didn't do that yet because it takes a lot of time to scan all tokens on OpenSea and all the buy orders. But since we now have a lot of API keys, I might improve this collection scan to use multiple API keys at once and, scan a collection quickly, to produce those graphs. So maybe we can also use that data to get a rough understanding on how many bids are active on a collection, how many bids are done on a day. And all we know roughly is, I would have to check the backend, but I think we keep the bids in the backend, for the wallet stats for 3 days before our housekeeping job kicks in. And I think there's about 5 to 6 million bids in our database. So we roughly do, with NFT Butler, we do maybe 1 million, 2 million bids per day, something like that.
Yeah, that was my request to Russell about that graph, because I find that when I'm looking at the collections, I go through the collection list, which is great. And of course, I know you do your 600 scans of bids anyway. But I'm finding that I go into collections and I check every 500. I'll just jump in and type in every 500 tokens, or just jump on and see who's bidding on it, just to get a general idea across the board, who's doing what, when their bid's expiring, that sort of stuff. So I notice sometimes, like I know the other day I put some bids in and then someone followed right behind me and then outbid me all the way through the collection, but I didn't realise until I was halfway through.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I just walk away from collections. Some collections have got like 4 or 5 people outbidding each other on all the tokens.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I just don't bother. So I try and find collections that are empty or someone's expiring soon, whatever, and I jump in there when they've expired. But just having even just being able to graph those existing 600 tokens that you got, represent, like one token or do one scan every 10 tokens, just to get an overview across the board.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like either the current expiry, the bar graph showing the expiry time, so you've got some idea knowing that this collection's it's about to expire in the next 2 hours or whatever, and also maybe I think the other graph I showed in there was maybe some overlap, seeing what the current bid level is and what your current bid level is or something, just so you know currently where you are. But again, something that's really, you don't need too much detail. Just need a really quick view that you can check. So you can look at the collection, you can see, okay, this whole collection has bids, or only the first half of the collection has bids, for example. So I found that, again, sometimes people only bid on half a collection or a quarter of a collection, maybe because of the same issue as us. They haven't got enough funds to cover the whole collection.
Yeah, I see.
It'd just be really, really handy just having a really quick view, so you can say, okay, this collection's got nothing in it. I can jump in there and do a blanket bid across the board in 2 hours or something.
It's going to make brain explode, all these graphs, but I'm going to try, okay?
Oh, no, just keep it really, just something simple. Like I said, that's why.
Something simple and very handy with a lot of data, right?
Well, like I said, I appreciate the fact that you already look at 600 tokens across the collection. So I think that's all you need, just a representative sample across the whole collection. You don't need every single token. You just need like every 10 or every 25 tokens, for example, just across the whole collection. So you just got a general view on where things are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should at least cover a fourth or something. Sometimes it's really random. Rare tokens have different bits than not rares. Yeah, but I will figure something out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not very often that you come across someone who's done a blanket bid across the entire collection. Sometimes people are just jumping in there and they're either doing a trait-based bid or they're just putting a few bids here and there. I've noticed that quite a few times. There's people just doing little pockets of bids against collections. But at the moment, I haven't seen many people doing a blanket bid across the entire collection. Number one, because it probably takes too long to do anyway. Mm-hmm. And number two, they probably haven't got enough in their wallet to do that. Because, even now when I do a bid against a decent-sized collection, I just sit there for 8 hours because I can't afford to do anything else. So... anyway, so it's...
Yeah, I will give it a try for sure. I will do something. Right now it's just a lot of stuff going on, so it's hard to time box and say, okay, now let me code again 2 hours for
Oh no, these are nice to have. That's all. But that's something personally I find that I just jump through, and I run a trait scan before I do the collection again, just to make sure that the floor price doesn't drop too much, and I jump on, and like I said, I do a quick run through of about every 500 tokens and see what's going on. If I find nothing being bidden, then I jump in there and do a quick blanket bid on the whole thing. But it would just save a little bit of time, just being able to see a quick graph of generally what's going on in that collection bid-wise.
Yeah, it completely makes sense. And I also want to have that, so we need to do it.
Yeah, cool.
I think you should check your task if you didn't get a bit exit, maybe it's because of low vet balance, I think.
Sorry again?
The crypto mores were running, weren't they?
Yeah, they were running.
I think maybe you just schedule it so it ran out of funds. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just running out of funds. 1 second, let me check. Account 4 is just, it's just deployed.
Okay. I was hoping there would be a live late, but anyway.
Yeah, sometimes it's because bids are accepted, right? But not today. I didn't get one. The last week, maybe we can also have a short look at the successes of last week, because maybe someone else who's watching the recording is gonna like what we had this. We need to show that one, right? So that was the highest profit span I think we have ever seen in NFT Butler. So that was like 3 ETH profit.
Wow, that's nice.
That's really nice, right? Everyone is dreaming of such a flip. That's also something we were thinking about this week. If we should have some small gamification in our Discord community, when you post success, basically we want to incentivize you people, right, to post your successes, because it's the best advertisement for NFT Butler and our project, right? So we thought maybe we put something like badges, platinum, silver, gold badges for all your flips, and this would be like badge for the highest flip ever, I think.
Is he like a regular holder or is he Padawan? Do you know?
He's a regular holder.
Okay. I was thinking if he was a Padawan, then that would be crazy.
That would be insane, right? 1 week trial and you earned 3 butlers. What else do we have? Bona had some nice success as well, just today. Nice. I was bidding on some other collections than at Bomb Squad as well this week, but still I got some bombs flipped as every week. Dolphy, you got some nice. Yeah, that was the collection which was dropping in
Yeah, those two in the middle. So I put a bid in at 0.1, but that was when the floor price was 0.18, and then within space of like 2 hours or an hour or something, it dropped down to 0.12. And I'd noticed until I jumped on it, so I quickly tried to unwrap my ETH, and then within space of 20 minutes, I had 2 people taking my 0.1 bids.
But you still sold them for 0.13?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not too bad. Still like $50 profit. So
yeah. So it was just a bit of a panic.
Yeah.
The floor price dropped, and I could hear these 2 pings going off. I thought, oh shit, someone's taking my bids, and so. But
that always feels weird, right? When there's more than one bid accepted.
Oh, what happened within 5 minutes? I was there trying to unwrap my ETH, and I got 1 bid, and I was still in the process of wrapping my ETH, and I got another bid. And I thought, holy crap! And then finally did it.
For me, I always think there's something wrong if there's more than one bid accepted. Because normally I wait the whole day that there's 1 accepted, and if there's more than 1, then I start to panic as well. The same feeling.
Yep.
I know that as well. But sometimes you're just lucky. Also, sometimes I thought, oh fuck, is the floor dropping? But I just got 4 bids accepted, each with decent profit span, because someone wanted to get ETH and sold all his NFTs to me. I mean, sometimes it's just perfect.
Yeah, I have maybe a suggestion. I would take the funds you get from selling NFT Butler, and I would hire like a hitman to kill Gurkuda, because if he didn't exist, we would have like triple the flips.
Yeah, that's true
as well. I've bounced in some of the projects I'm in. He's in there, and he's jumped in a couple of not my projects, but some of the projects I've been looking at, and he's jumped in there.
He just bids as soon as there's some ETH offer accepted. He starts bidding on all the NFTs in the wallet of the guy that accepted the offer, and he starts immediately, and that's crazy. So he's working smart, not hard. We are doing the hard work. We are bidding on all the collections, and as soon as he sees that any WETH offer is accepted, then he just starts bidding on all the NFTs in this wallet, And of course, there is a high percentage for those bids to being accepted. But what I've seen, he's outbidding with some other wallets. I mean, he's the only one that has a name on it, but there's other wallets as well. They start outbidding each other really, really fast. And so the profit span is a bit lower than the profit span of us when we just get a bit accepted for like half the floor price. But yeah, it's a good strategy, I think, what he's doing. And he's stolen in exclamation marks some NFTs of me as well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that he'll do very, very tight profit margins too, because I guess, like you said, he's outbidding other people. But I've noticed that, and that's what happened to me the other day. Like I said, I was halfway through a collection. After 2 hours, I was putting bids in, and then I started getting all these emails from OpenSea saying you've been outbid, and I could see someone falling right behind me, just outbidding me the entire. So I just end up stopping the collection and letting him carry on.
Yeah, so, I think that's a different strategy as well.
Yeah,
what you are describing. That's someone else, but I think like the Gurkuda guy, or how is it called? He was first, but I think like other people saw how successful it is, and they developed their own custom bots. I think because I also saw that there are now maybe like 4 people or 4 bots doing the same strategy and outbidding themselves, and they are ending like, I don't know, 10% below the floor usually. So yeah, it's really like the margin is quite low. I don't think it's like worth it for us, but it just makes me angry because
Yeah, exactly. I also think I've seen other bots too. So they just compete to the least profit margin. So I'm not too sure if it's really important to get the same strategy on board in the NFT Butler as well.
I think it's worthless.
Yeah, right. Here we have him, Gurkuda. He did all the work. Kindly accept my bids, and then Gurkuda snapped all the others. But he reduced the profit spend by like $60 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is an old screenshot. I think now it would be even smaller profit because
exactly.
One time he was the only one. Now it's crazy.
And also regarding Dolphy, your input about someone was just outputting you right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a feature request in our backlog to basically have a checkbox in your task to randomize the order. So you don't bid in order. So then it's harder for someone to follow you and outbid you because you're just picking random token IDs, basically.
Yep. Okay, that's good as well. And obviously obviously makes it easier too. If you can randomize stuff if you've got all your collection in the one task, by that looping update you've got. Because at the moment, like I said, I'm ordering everything in like 4 different tasks. So I'm trying to sequence them, and sometimes it's difficult when I'm interspersing other collections in there as well. So I've got half of one collection in there, and then I've got the second half of another collection, and I'm trying to squeeze stuff in. And it just gets messy, and then that's why I started coming up with that idea about having a graph that shows the bids, because then I start losing track of which bids have I put there and when they're expiring. It just gets all mixed up.
Now I get it. Yeah, makes sense.
You know what I mean? So it's difficult. So it's hard to get a visual of. That's why I've got to jump around and try and find out which bids I've put in there when they're expiring in what sections. So it's sometimes difficult. But that looping thing sounds fantastic. It's just being able to cram everything into one task and just let it sit there and do drip feed when it has to, and that's just a great way of doing it.
Then Robster is back with some successful flips this week. Congrats, Robster. I always wonder, what collections you choose, because you do a lot of bids, always some nice profit, because here you don't have to pay a lot of royalties as well, but they are super low. But I think this is an awesome strategy, also lowering your risk a lot, right? Because you don't put, thousands of bucks on one NFT and then you're bibbering until the NFT is actually sold, right? I really like
That's
that.
actually right now it's only because I run out of ETH because
Okay.
I get some nice bids accepted on collections that I really like, so I'm just holding on to those NFTs, but now my bankroll has
dropped.
was reduced, so I'm just building up my bankroll again, so I'm hoping for bigger flips in the future.
Nice. Then Bona did some nice flips this week as well. It's just yesterday, I think. I flipped some Crypto Cannabis Club this week. I really love this collection. I'm holding on to some of those NFTs as well. And those they were kind of rare ones, especially this one. I still didn't put it too much above floor, but it sold within, like 15 minutes. And I'm still not too sure if I should have, kept it because I like the collection. But still, I swear to myself, I will sell every NFT I get with NFT Butler just to make some, quick profit. So I'm still holding on to those fundamentals.
It's hard though.
Yes, it's really hard.
I'm the same after almost 6 months of just accumulating NFTs. It's really hard for me to buy something just flip it straight away again.
Exactly. This is a nice flip as well. Congrats, please. Awesome. And Robster here again. Another nice flip. And here we have a triple flip. That's also nice. I love it. Sometimes, I had to do with the bombs a lot. It's really awesome. You start bidding a little bit once you get 3 bits accepted. But once they start selling off it's like a computer game. The dopamine flash, happiness feeling is exceeding, like, nice, I'm getting rid of it and I can get triple profit here. I love it. Then here, a small flip, but still in profit. And that's actually a very decent flip, Dolphy. That's like $250 for one flip. Awesome.
I think that was my couple of hours after I installed NFT Butler. I think last Friday. I think I got two. Yeah, I got. I did 2 flips in like. That was a Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, so that's actually the experience we want to see for everyone. Like, you install NFT Butler, you start processing flips, and you get bits, and you get some flips immediately. That would be the perfect journey.
Yeah, well, that was the end of the weekend, but the Friday, the first day, the first Friday afternoon, I think in the afternoon and early the next morning, I got 2 flips. It was great.
Here.
Yeah, those 2.
Boom. Right after installing NFT Butler. That's awesome.
Yep.
Oh, that was after my pumped weekend. That's only a week. It feels so long, but I got like 5 other bombs. It's really insane what I do with these. Awesome. Does anyone have some final thoughts or questions? Otherwise, I think we are going to close this AMA session. Oh, we got some new people. Hi, Toby. Hi, Swoosha. Do you have any question? Doesn't sound like. So thank you very much for joining the AMA. I really like these sessions. Today was a little bit different. Was more focused on the roadmap, on what we are currently doing. But it's really great to work together with you guys. Yeah.
What about the Padawan roles?
Toby.
You mentioned there are Padawan roles to give away. So I mean, if Mitchell, Swoosha, and Toby are not saying anything, then maybe they don't want a role.
Yeah. So far, everyone was lifetime member or Padawan already, so I didn't think about it. Toby, are you here? do you want to have a free trial access for NFT Butler? Toby is typing. If possible, yes. Okay, Toby. I'm gonna open a channel with you in NFT Butler. It's not gonna be a direct message. You will be dragged into the lucky winner channel, and you will get a voucher to be redeemed in the Get a Trial channel. So you can try NFT Butler for free for a week, and you will also get access to the holder channels. So you'll get access to the collection scanner, which gives a lot of impressions about collections and what bids are currently active on collections and what is the current profit span for a collection. You will get access to the holder chat. Feel free to ask any question, and I'm sure we will all help you to get onboarded. And NFT Butler is basically a mass bidding bot. It's not meant, well, I'm not too sure what ANS collections are, to be honest. What are ANS collections?
I think it's the Ether, it's like DNS, but with Ether.
Yeah. So I know the ENS addresses, but I didn't know they're in a collection. I just know you can buy your Ethereum name system name. To be honest, Toby, so NFT Bot works right now with, you choose a collection, which would be ENS here, so that would work. And then you will have to specify on what token IDs you want to bid on. And these token IDs look very random. So usually on a collection, you would say, let me show you my NFT Butler to you. So here on Crypto Cannabis Club, for example, I'm bidding on token ID 1 to 5,000. And that works because the token IDs in the smart contract of Crypto Cannabis Club, they are basically numeric and following each other. So there is token ID 1, 2, 3, and so on, which is not true for the ENS collection. So yes, you can bid on this collection by using the collection slug name, but you would have to retrieve all those token IDs here from the URLs from the NFTs you would like to bid on, and then put them as a comma separated list here. So you would do something like this, comma.
But in the rarity, in your channel, the rarity, what's it called?
Yeah.
You can get all the tokens, right?
Yes,
the
but
rarity filter bot, could you put in the collection Slack and then just get all the token numbers and then just put it into NFT Butler?
Only if it's indexed by Rarity Sniffer, and I doubt this is the case for the ENS collection, but we can try.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. But this is something I could. I also have in my backlog. I want to incorporate it to actually retrieve the token IDs from OpenSea, because then we can do that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, right. Let me put that as a. It's in the back of the brain anyway, but let me put it to my backlog so I don't forget. So get all token IDs for a collection from OpenSea directly. Since we have a lot of API keys, we can do all that stuff now. It was really limited once I coded this, so that's why it's not supported yet. We just got a new success. Nice! Mitchell is having some success as well. 2 nice, awesome. Congrats, Mitchell. Really nice to see you got some more success here. Awesome. Thank you so much again for joining the AMA. Toby, I will be back with you in a few minutes and grant you the voucher to try NFT Butler. And don't hesitate to ask your questions. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice week, and speak to you soon.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.